Good morning, friends. I'm so excited today. We're going to start a new book since we've finally finished TJ and the Rockets. And this new book that we're reading this week is actually about a real artist. So you can see on this page is a picture of the real artist. His name is Tyree Goyton. He was born in 1955, so he's like probably the same age as some of your grandparents. So the story Magic Trash is based on the life and art of painter and sculptor Tyree Guyton. In 2011, the Heidelberg Project celebrates its 25th anniversary. Tyree continues to work on Heidelberg Street and travels internationally to lecture and assist with installations of community art. He represented the United States in the 2008 Venice Architecture Biennial. You may visit the Heidelberg Project in Detroit, which is in Michigan, or view Tyree Guyton's art in museums, including the Detroit Institute of Arts. Discover more of his work at his website, heidelberg.org. So you can see Tyree working on some art in his community. It looks like he does art to make his community more beautiful. So jumping ahead now, as we're reading Magic Trash, the story of Tyree Guyton and his art, we're going to be thinking a lot about the author's choices and the author's craft. So we're taking a jump away from studying chapter books, and we're thinking instead about a smaller book, but we're thinking about the author's choices and how they created this book and how they wrote this book and how that helps us to understand Tyree Guyton's story better. So this week, the question we're thinking about is this: what craft and structure choices did you notice the author using in this book? And why do you think the author made these choices? So we're thinking about how does the author help us to see and understand and feel the art and the story of Tyree Guyton better by the way that they write. So the first type of craft that the author is using is descriptive language. So here's what I want you to think. How does the author help you use your senses to better understand what is happening in the story? So how does the author help you use your taste, your touch, your what you smell, what you hear, and what you see to better understand the story? It might seem kind of silly because we're not going to taste the book or touch the actual book or things in the book, but authors can use words to help us think about what something smells like or what something tastes like. So let's look for how the author helps us to use our senses to better understand what's happening in this story. I'm going to read you the first couple pages of the story, and then you can go ahead and read it on your own. So here's the first page of Magic Trash, the story of Tyree Guyton. I got it wrong. Guyton, yes, the story of Tyree Guyton and his art. A winter chill whooshed through Heidelberg Street. Young Tyree Guyton buttoned his coat. Pop! His last button flipped into the gutter. He drove after it, then dug through the frosty leaves. He pried a popsicle stick from the ice. He hoisted a bicycle wheel off the curb. He scooped up a baseball cap buried in the snow. Pockets clanking, Tyree darted home, a home on the east side of Detroit that already bulged with 10 children. So already I heard two words that helped me understand the story better by using my senses, and those are called descriptive words. So when Tyree Guyton buttoned his coat, pop, his button flipped into the gutter. Pop helps me to know that the button went off, and I can almost hear what it sounds like when a button of mine goes off of my jacket. It also says pockets clanking. If you've ever put a bunch of stuff in your pockets at the same time, you might hear it go clunk, 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 clunk. And we know that Tyree had pockets full of things, so his pockets were clanking. The word clanking helps me to hear or imagine what it sounds like as Tyree's walking home with his pockets full of things. So those are descriptive language, words that help us to sense, like smell or hear or see or touch or taste what's happening in the story. Shop around, Tyree sang along with the radio as he unloaded the day's finds. His mama didn't earn enough money sewing and cleaning to buy new shoes, much less bikes and balls, so he zapped fun into amazing junk that others tossed away. Popsicle sticks became boards to build a house. The cap soared like a rocket ship. The wheel bounced, spoke something, danced. Let rockets fly, boards tower high, bounce, jump, and dance, magic trash. So your job is to continue reading up through the page right here. It's also in your quiz, so you know where to stop. But technically, this is page 11 of your book on Epic. So as you're reading, you might notice some tricky words. Your job is to practice decoding those words using the chunks that you know. There will be a couple tricky words in here. For example, this one right here, abracadabra, abracadabra. I can chunk out the small parts of the word that I know to figure it out. But abracadabra is something that magicians say to start a spell, something that seems magical. They would say abracadabra to make the spell happen. So that's a tricky word you might find. As you're reading, if you come across more tricky words, I challenge you to use your strategies to figure it out on your own. Once you've watched this video and you've read up through those pages, page 11 in the Magic Trash book, go ahead and take the quiz. Make sure you're answering questions with complete sentences and using evidence from the book to support your answers. Get to work. Thanks, everyone.